Hello, everybody. Welcome to Two Moons and a Microphone. My name is Tanya. I love fantasy, but I keep it real. This is a SyFy Sistas ElfQuest fangirl podcast. And I have my girl Shekinah here. We are so excited to talk about the dark and twisty, very hot, very
Very hot.
serious
Mhm.
Strongbow tonight.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Shekinah?
I'm good. I'm excited. I'm ready. I promise. I said in Facebook I was going to keep the fangirling to a minimum of 15 minutes.
Please
So,
fangirl all you want. I know that you have a thing for the dark and twisty guys, and
and do.
who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Who
As I was
doesn't?
doing my review of like so much
So much.
Strongbow, like Strongbow is in every story.
Every story, yes.
He has something going on
Yep.
every single story. There's a lot to unpack.
Mhm.
I'm excited to have my fellow geek here to geek out with me and talk about Strongbow. He came up so much when we were talking about Nightfall in the last episode
Yes.
before our break.
Mhm.
And it just seemed like a natural choice to, I mean, I didn't plan it that way. He just kept
Right.
coming up as a foil or, something to Nightfall, because Nightfall is just like this super loyal
Yes.
Wolfrider tribe
Yes.
mate. She's one of the original Wolfriders from the original quest, as is
Mhm.
Strongbow. And Strongbow is also a great member of the tribe.
Yes.
He's a tribal elder. He's
Mhm.
from Bear Claw's time, so
Mhm.
he's got some years of experience on him, but because of the now of Wolf Thought, he doesn't always learn these lessons the first time because
Mhm.
he's in the now. He he clings to the way like a child with a security blanket.
Oh
It
yeah.
is, but I had this revelation. I was thinking, if it were not for the way and the now of Wolf Thought,
Mhm.
Strongbow would be insane. He would go crazy
Oh, he would be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for sure. Yes.
because he's just lived through so much.
He's literally has seen so much over the course of his life. And in a way, it it makes it easy to understand why he is the way that he is. Even when he's flawed and I want to reach through the doggone screen and the pages and knock him side his head, you kind of understand why he is the way that he is. So you're right. If we didn't have the now and the wolf thought and the way, and if we didn't have all that, that boy will be cuckoo for cocoa puffs.
He'd be so
So
nuts. He would be a
so
mess. I
nuts.
mean, messier than he already is, but
Messy. Okay, he would definitely be unbearable. Like
he does try though. So
he
that's why we
tried.
love him,
We
because
do.
he is not perfect, but he
Hmm.
is always trying to do the right thing. He's
Yeah.
not, it's not coming from a bad place.
Yeah.
Oh, well, welcome everyone. Welcome to the chat. Hi,
Yeah.
Natalie. I see you there, and Sabrina, and Sailor Marge, and Nicole. I hope I'm
Yeah.
saying
Hi.
that right. Welcome. I hope
Welcome.
you guys are excited to talk about Strongbow. Please put any of your Strongbow thoughts into the chat.
Put 'em in
My
there.
twins watch a lot of YouTube and they're like, "What do you think, chat?" Like they say that literally all the time now. And I'm like, I'm not chat. I am mom. Please, let's keep it down. So, all right. So because Strongbow plays a role in so many of the ElfQuest sagas for the 46 years, I tried to create a sort of a framework for this conversation,
Mhm.
centering around some major things that
Yes.
I've noticed through my review. So I have the first slide. This is a quintessential
Ugh,
thing about Strongbow's character.
yes.
This is from Hidden Years. This is issue 1. This is a great issue. Everyone
Mhm.
find it, read it. It's so great.
So good.
So Strongbow's life mate Moonshade says to him that she's never seen him falter except for when, his emotions take over.
Mhm.
And this this recurs throughout many stories with Strongbow because, I mean, he's very quiet. He is a strong sender in the ElfQuest lore. He, they speak through telepathy, and he
Yeah.
prefers to send all the time. Like, he doesn't
Yeah.
talk much, which is good for a hunter. He is
Yeah.
an archer. He's an excellent archer. He
Yes.
learned from his mother, which I think is so great. Like, it's
So
just a great
sweet.
part of the story.
Yeah.
Like, we don't hear about his father at all, but his mother, True Flight,
Yes.
teaches him the archery, and he obviously looked up to Bear Claw
Yes.
a great deal.
A great deal, yes.
But Bear Claw is very flawed. Which is always funny to me when he's always like, well, in Bear Claw's time, it was so great. Like, Cutter, you don't know what you're doing.
Like,
baby. Bear Claw was out of control.
We're not even looking. I'm like, Strongbow, are we looking at the same person? Because your Bear Claw versus my Bear Claw are two different Bear Claws. Like, I just want to strangle that man,
Yeah, I mean, he's responsible for ratcheting up the antagonism between the Wolfriders and the humans, and there are dire consequences.
Very dire.
Of which Strongbow was very central to one of them. This is a story that, gets everybody very upset. So, Strongbow has, because of this war with the humans, his first child, Crescent, who is the cutest girl, and she is a fire pistol little thing.
Yeah.
So the humans murder her, and Strongbow is all like wrecked, as he should be.
Yes.
But thankfully, because of the now of Wolf Thought, they forget. They live, they're living in the now. They're like the wolves. It's just about what's going on. No, yes, absolutely. Bear Claw was an alcoholic. He was a mess.
100%. He had a problem.
Too much Dreamberry wine.
Way too much. Yes.
Hanging out with the trolls. Way too much. So they move on. He and Moonshade, they recognize again. They have Dart. Dart is great. I love Dart.
Love Dart. So sweet.
And Dart's his own man. So it's good. So he moves on.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say. So yeah. So Strongbow, he saw these terrible times with Bear Claw. I don't know why he clings to that time versus the time with Cutter. He doesn't like change. So when he had the way and he could just, hunt, howl, and live free, and I didn't have to think about too many things, that was good. That kept him, centered. But when the original quest starts, Cutter is messing with all of his things. They have to leave their home. They have to go live in the desert. There's no, there's no forest.
No trees.
No trees. Then he gets captured by the gliders.
He's tortured. He didn't know what to do with himself. That poor baby. I know he was side-eyeing the hell out of Cutter. I know he was looking at him like, boy, I wish you was your daddy, because why are you putting me through this?
Because he was not, Bear Claw was not that deep, right? He's not, I don't care where we put. This is all this is it. This is it. Right here in this forest.
Strongbow stressed. Cutter had Strongbow so stressed. I felt so bad for him. Sometimes I was like, this poor archer is losing his mind. I know he is crying himself to sleep every time Cutter calls a council. Like, what is happening right now?
Like, let's not do it. No.
He's like, please, no. Moonshade. What's wrong with your chief, Moonshade?
It's like, I'll be with the wolves, basically.
Literally that.
Let me just
stay with the wolves from now on.
Right. So he is, he does not like the humans.
Mm-mm.
Obviously, he does not like Winnowill and those gliders. They're terrible.
As he should.
He was tortured mercilessly.
Yes.
He gets free. He wants to break out. He is not about this quest for finding all the lost children of the High Ones. That is, or where they came. Why are they there? None of his concern. He wants no parts of it at all. So
no.
And when he has control, he's fine. He's good.
Yeah.
He's not like Bearclaw as a father. He's not abusive in any way.
Right.
He challenged Cutter once and lost. And that was it.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
He took it very gracefully. I'll give him that. He took that loss very gracefully. I was proud. I was like, okay, baby. Yes. That's how you do that.
And he doesn't really, he's not a whole lot of like, I told you so, like,
right.
This was a mistake. But, things occur sometimes, So that is the crux. Like, he's in control most of the time, but when he is not in control, when he is pushed to his limits.
Yeah.
For example, in this next slide, I have 2 examples of when he goes so far against the way. As much as he is supposed to be the keeper of the way, he is broken against the way probably more than any other Wolfrider, I would say. In these 2 instances in particular, the first is from Siege of Blue Mountain. This is issue 8. For those who are not really familiar with this part of the story, but here, one of the gliders has pulled up Strongbow's son, Dart, along with another young human up in one of the great hawks, and then dropped them to their death, or he's hoping.
Yeah. Yep.
And Strongbow just loses it. He shoots him twice with his arrows, kills him. No other elf has ever killed another elf, to their knowledge, in the history of the Wolfriders, and anyway, in particular. So this is a major thing, and it rocks him deeply. It takes a long time for him to forgive himself, and he asks forgiveness of Kareel, the glider who did this terrible thing. Later, he goes to his spirit in the palace. He gets, forgiveness. But it was wow. And then the other time is from Final Quest. And the whole time he is like, guns are not for us. That is not the way. Two-Edge, our, interesting character, has given guns to the humans. The humans are out for blood. They are coming to decimate all of the elves. And one of them wings Cutter a little bit. And of course, Strongbow sees this gun on the ground, picks it up, and shoots the human. He has these crimes of passion.
Yeah.
Where it's just so in the moment. And Moonshade knew this way back then.
Way back then. And I think what makes it so emotional is that he's not necessarily doing it because he's being vindictive or he's being evil. Just about every time he's done something like that, it was to protect someone that he loved or to avenge someone he loved. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. When he shot down Kareel, I was like, you should get another arrow, because he came for your child, he came for your family, he came for your tribe. He didn't hesitate to try to kill your child. So don't you hesitate to try to kill him. That was me. But as it went on, I did understand where his grief was coming from, because I was like, boy, just I was young. I was like, get over it. know. I'm literally like as a younger person staring at the page, and I'm like, do you think he would have hesitated? He was trying to kill your baby. That was me. And in a way, I feel that Strongbow was justified in what he did. But at the same time, I do understand the ways of the elves are different, from us. But I just felt so bad for him because I didn't expect for him to be as impacted by it until they started touching on it into the following issue. And you
Mm-hmm.
could actually see it on his expression. You could see the trauma, you could see the pain, you could see the disappointment. And I was like, you're gonna make me feel bad for you avenging your baby. Daggone it. And it's just when he gets emotional, when that passion hits, but it's one thing I will respect out of him. It's never vindictive. It's never, I'm trying to be evil. Every time I've seen him do it, it was to save the life of someone he cared for. And I have to respect him for that. It may not be the way, but I'm always going to respect him for that. My baby.
I mean, yeah. I mean, let's be. I mean, in ElfQuest, this is. I think Sunny has said this, and we all believe this. Like, there are real consequences
Mm-hmm.
with the actions in this, comic book,
Yes.
and it's all like very grounded in that what happens to you when you take a life of your brethren or
Yes.
whatever. And a lot of these elves are killers. Like, they all have some bodies on them. Like, Cutters
Mm-hmm.
killed some people.
Oh,
They
yeah.
had the war with the trolls, and then the Shards War. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot. There's a lot of bloodshed.
There is.
And it's never just like collateral you know what I mean? Like, it
Mm-hmm.
all impacts them. Like, they all like kind of feel and have to move on from it,
Yeah.
which is something that you don't see in like, hero comics all the time. Like, it's not
Mm-hmm.
always, it's kind of it's like whatever, and they just move on, or they smash through like whole buildings, and it's, you know what I mean? So I just think that that's just one of the like reasons why you keep going back to the stories, because they are so
Yes.
deep, and you always get like
Mm-hmm.
this new, you know, awakening, or like just these new ideas come up, and you see things in a different way, and as you live your life, and it just
Mm-hmm.
like resonates so much
Yeah.
with just like real life. It's just
It's raw. It's so raw. It's so raw. It makes you, like you said, it makes you think of things that you never would have thought of originally. It changes your perception and your perspective. And that's why I love ElfQuest, because you may go in there with one certain thought in your head about how things are going to go, or how things should be, or how you yourself may respond or react to what's happening on those pages. But by the time you flip that closed, you're gonna be sitting there in a dark corner like everything I thought I knew was a lie. And that's what ElfQuest does to me. Thanks, mom and
that's what
pop.
it does.
That's what you guys do to me every time. I love it, but you're killing me here. Sheesh.
Oh, thank you for stopping in, Sparky Shorts. Yes,
Hi, Sparky.
I love Strongbow is he's just such an interesting character.
He
And
is.
I think he is here. He exists. Like, that, as I was going through all of these, like, trying to, like, what do we get? Like, why does he have to go through so much? Like,
Mm-hmm.
how much can one character take? Like,
Yeah.
I've gotten to this point in the story. Like, if you followed the entire 46-year saga, you're like, poor Strongbow. Like, man,
Yeah.
he has
So
gone through
much.
it. But why though? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why? So I think why is because, Wendy and Richard have said that um, ElfQuest is not a story about good versus evil. It's
Mhm.
about knowledge versus ignorance, right?
Yes.
So it's like he's the one going through all of these really hard lessons
Mhm.
for all of us in a way.
Yes.
Like in a different way than the hero is going to learn his lessons and have his challenges
Mhm.
and things like this, these moments of adversity and on throughout the journey. Like Strongbow is there to just be an example of like, to live in a world you have to endure, and how are
Yes.
you going to endure that? Like
Yes.
everyone is going to have, it's not all going to be like rosy and wonderful all the time. There's going to be
No.
like real stuff going down, and I think that he's just there to like be that reference point for
Mhm.
how, to try to be the best that you can, but to be flawed and to make mistakes and have terrible consequences for those mistakes,
Mhm.
and to have terrible circumstances that are not your fault. Like,
Mhm.
this wasn't all like he brought it on himself or anything.
Right.
Like some of these are just,
Just
this is
stuff
the
that
way things
happened.
were.
Yeah.
So I think that's why. Like, I think
Mhm.
it's good to have that kind of character
Mhm.
along with, I mean, Nightfall, she's seen some stuff, but like I
Yeah.
don't think that there have been the same consequences or just occur, like, for the
Yeah.
most part, to really shake her. I think she would handle them differently. She's
Mhm.
proven that she's pretty solid.
Mhm.
She's never had a moment of doubt that I can remember in
Mhm.
any of the stories.
Mhm.
But I mean, she hasn't lost as much as
As
Strongbow has
Strongbow.
lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's interesting. I don't know. Wendy and
Yeah.
Richard, you do some amazing story writing, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Characters.
Uh-huh. Jeez.
But
Woo.
back to the hotness, I will say he's giving me like Dylan McKay vibes. I don't know if you watched 90210.
Uh-huh. Lord.
RIP to Luke Perry and Shannon Doherty.
Yes.
He is that like tortured, like he's good, but he's a bad boy
When I was
kind of
so
thing.
when I first started reading ElfQuest,
I know that was a hard left, but I was trying to like, I didn't want to, like, I don't want everybody to be down all the time.
right? When I first started reading ElfQuest, I will say Strongbow was like my first male character crush. I when I saw him for the first time, I was like, "Hey, what's your name is?" I was like, "Wait a minute. He's an archer. I love me some archers. He's grumpy. I love me some grumpiness. He's a redhead." I'm like, "This man checking off all my boxes." I'm like, "Wait." And then when he got that face fur, Lord have mercy. Could nobody tell me nothing. Could nobody tell me anything about that man. I was so in love with him. It made no sense. Sheesh. Wendy knew what she was doing. That's all I'm gonna say. Thanks, mom.
Thank you, Elf Mom. He's a cutie. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, he was like, hey, it's the way. Like, Natalie says, when Cutter recognized Lita, like, just take her. Like, let's go. Like, I don't think he meant it like that. Like, I have to reread that one line and see what I think about it.
The
But
funny thing is that it sounds like that sounds 100% accurate for him during that time. It sounds so accurate for him to just be like, "You recognize it? All right, let's go. Just grab it,
and
let's go.
Moonsade too. Like, hey, you're
Carry out."
that's the what, like, you got to do it. Like, for so
Like,
much of it, I think it's auburn. They say his hair is like
yeah,
auburny
I think it's
brown.
auburny. So I feel like there's been some panels where it looks more brownish, and then there's been some panels where it looks more red. But yeah, I think auburn is the perfect way to describe it. Auburn. Yeah, it's
He is
got
a
those little
reddish.
flakes of fire in there. I like to call them. Wow. Right.
Yes. And I mean, for a lot of the story, like it's Strongbow and Moonshade like as a unit, right?
Yeah.
They are so together, like in Dreamtime. They have
Yeah.
one dream. Like everybody else has separate dreams,
Mm-hmm.
but the one that they share for them, it's like one. Like they are
One.
one. They
Mm-hmm.
one mind, one heart. That's it. And they're like in lockstep for so much of the time. Hey,
Yeah.
Derek, what's up? Derek is a member of SyFy Sistas Inc. and his new podcast will be starting in September-ish sometime.
Okay,
Very
Derek.
exciting. Derek is a wonderful writer. He wrote a book, The Autobiography of Benjamin Sisko, and it
Oh.
is so good. It's so good. Everyone go buy Derek's book. It's on Amazon. Go pick it up. It's great.
Me reaching for my phone immediately. I was like, okay, Cisco.
It's so great. So great. Okay, so back to Strongbow
You're right
and
back to Strongbow. Okay.
Moonshade. Yes, they are in lockstep
Mm-hmm.
for thousands of years.
Yeah.
But then because it's Strongbow,
Yes, Strongbow.
they diverge. It's
Broke my heart. Broke my heart. I was so mad at him. I was so angry when they kind of split. And I was like they split, but they didn't split, but they still split. And I was enraged. I was like, Strongbow, how did you do this to me? I was just so angry. Like, how do
Why
you
were
have?
you angry? He was heartbroken.
I know, but I just seeing them not together just all the time, like for so long. It's always the two of them together, and it was like, I just feel like I just wanted to be angry at somebody. I was angry at her too, but it was just a lot. I was mad. I was just mad in general.
Did you want him to go to the palace with her and be like an immortal?
You know what? I don't know. I think that's the crazy part. Is I literally feel like whatever would have happened, I would have been okay. If he would have went to the palace with her, I would have been okay. If she would have stayed, I would have been okay. But at the same time, I know that that's not neither of them would have truly been happy if they would have done that. And Strongbow loved Moonshade, but he would not have been happy doing that. And Moonshade loved Strongbow, but she was like, "Look at here, something got to change. I'm sorry." And it just, I think for me, maybe I wasn't angry. I think for me, I was more so hurt because you're so used to seeing them together all the time and being in perfect synchrony, and then to have that synchrony just like it threw me for a loop. And I didn't know how to feel for a long time. I was just like, every time I would see one of them in the panel, I would start to cry. Like Moonshade would be over there doing something random, like, "I was Strongbow." And then Strongbow would be over there doing something like, "I Moonshade." And I was a wreck. I was just a mess all the Final Quest.
I thought it was so interesting. It was such a great surprise because
It was.
everybody thought that Moonshade was sort of like this trad wife, like I'm just gonna
Wherever he go, I'm going.
wherever he goes, I go,
Mm-hmm.
and just gonna keep living this life and follow the
Mm-hmm.
way. And she was like, I am feeling these pangs of like the call of the palace and the new bigger truth was like
Yeah.
become like materializing for her. Like it does not have to be this way. Like we do not have to just like scrape and survive.
Right.
There are other options as us as beings, you know? And I thought that was just fabulous as a story. Like as a point of the story, I was like just so excited.
Yeah.
Like, where is this going? Like
Yeah.
I was
It
just like
kept
on
us
pins and needles, like every issue,
Yes.
like where is this going? Like what
Yes.
are we
It kept
doing
us
with
on our
this?
toes for sure. Every time we saw them, I was like, "Ugh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen now?" Like it really kept you. It was very brilliant how they did that. And it was so unexpected. And that's what makes ElfQuest so amazing because they're gonna throw something at you sideways that you're not gonna expect. And it's gonna completely shift your brain chemistry 100%. Miss Moonshade.
Yes, the storytelling. I think I have a slide for their dream
Yes.
and some lessons that
Mm-hmm.
they've learned. So from Final Quest, this is part of their dream. I just thought this was a prettier panel because it's in color and Dreamtime
Yeah.
is not in color. But they've shared their dream with two other elf characters that are go
Mm-hmm.
backs that don't send very much, that are very much more. Let's just keep it to like Warren and fucking really, basically. That's all that the
Pretty
go backs
much,
want to
yeah.
do.
That was it.
They just want to go to war and fight and have a lot of sex and make a lot of elf children. So that's what
Mm-hmm.
the go backs do. And Strongbow and Moonshaded shared their dream with Scott and Krim, and they are. It's part of their dream is that the fear is like closing in on them. That that fight or flight,
Mm-hmm.
but ultimately that you have to do the right thing for your tribe and for each other. And this is when Strongbow realizes that Moonshade has to follow her path and, be one of the palace dwellers and leave the
Mm-hmm.
world of two moons. Even though she had always been like, you stay with your life mate forever. Like, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your souls are bound forever. And that's it. That's all you got to do. That's the way. But she was like,
Yeah.
I cannot reconcile these two pulls any longer. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it was like, wow. And he couldn't, like, when he finally realized it was amazing.
Yeah.
So heartbroken.
Yeah.
And then when he did it to us, like, for real, like, what?
Yeah. Had me screaming. I literally was screaming. I was a wreck.
It's so beautiful,
Ugh,
though. I don't want to
it
spoil
was.
it. It's just one of the most
No.
beautiful things in this story. Their story.
Whew.
I
It'll wreck
just
you.
gosh, so good though, so good.
So good. It's a beautiful pain.
It was a beautiful pain. It was beautifully drawn. Just the
Yes,
way that everyone go read it. Go read Final Quest. It is
please.
on Dark Horse Comics. It is so good. It's so good.
Yes.
Get it?
Woo.
It's the complete Dark Horse Volume 7 in black and white, or if you can read it in color on Dark Horse Digital, or you can try to hunt down the like 4 volumes 1 through 4 of Final Quest that are in color. They're very cute little paperback books, and they're
They are.
awesome. And Final Quest is great, but you got to, at least know what's going on for
Mm-hmm.
before you get to Final Quest, and you can follow Strongbow through the entire 46 years, because Strongbow is one of those like seminal characters in
Mm-hmm.
ElfQuest, and that is why we're talking about him. So he has had to learn these very hard lessons, and I
Yeah.
love that they brought him back for Stargazer's Hunt.
Yes. I was so happy. I was
Looking
so
like Steven
excited.
Tyler from Aerosmith. Like, so much.
Sorry.
That's all I could see. Like, he's in these tattered clothes. I don't know if Yvette could bring up the slide one more time, the last one.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
look at him. All he
He-
needs is the mic with the like ribbons or whatever. I don't know what they call it stuff.
Oh my God. Whew.
I could not get that out of my head. Every time I saw, I'm like, what is he doing? Why do his clothes look like that? Is that because Moonshade used to make all of his clothes and now he can't bring himself to wear new clothes? I don't, but
Oh my God.
but anyway, he tells Skywise there that his problem is that he has never really let himself get his heart like really broken.
Yes.
And nobody could tell anybody that message but Strongbow because
That's Strongbow.
his heart's been broken several times.
Yes.
To be broken and to heal back bigger, that I think that it's a line, something like, I'm paraphrasing, but it's so neat. I think it is so neat that they had Strongbow like deciding to go to the Star Home after everything that happens in Final Quest.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him for that at all. He's like, look, I got it. This planet, this world of 2 moons,
it's too much for me now.
we're
I
done.
can't.
We are done. It's over.
Yep.
We are never ever getting back together. Ever.
Like, you've taken everything from me.
Exactly.
You've taken everything from me.
Every single thing.
Everything I love is gone because of you.
Everything. I mean, except for Dart and Free Touch.
Yeah.
I've never really loved that new name, but
I always still accidentally call her Chitter all the time. I'm always like Chitter, and they're like, oh wait, it's Free Touch. It's Free Touch now, right? Free Touch. Sorry.
Sometimes you shouldn't let people make up their own names. That's what I think. I don't know. I don't like it, but it's a minor thing. I like her as a character, though. I think it's very. She's very.
I
fun.
love her as a character. She's so sweet. Her tanning is so unique compared to her mom's. So when you see everybody together, you're like, I know what is Free Touch tanning. I know what is Moonshade tanning. So, but yeah, overall, her as a character, I loved her, and I think her birth really did heal something in Strongbow and Moonshade, and she was right on time for them. Now she had her hands all over Drayon, and she gonna have to back up off my man.
At the end,
cause I synced that. I peeped that, and I was like, "Girl, back up off my man." Now you
another strong silent type for Shekinah. She loves these. Let me just hum for you.
I don't know how he hums, but in my head, he hums very soulful. I got issues, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm fangirling. This is what you wanted. Maybe not quite this much, but you're getting it.
Oh, yes. Chitter was such a chattermouth. I was just like rereading part of the Discovery because, as I said, Strongbow is in every story. When she's a little cubbling and she's like, no, think talk, daddy. Like, let's go. And she's like just talking and talking and talking. And they're both
I love
like,
that. They just look so exhausted. They're just standing there like,
what?
I love that she makes Strongbow like actually talk. She's like, use your words. Don't be using all that mind talking. I want to hear your voice. And it was so cute because he would always talk for her whenever she asked, demanded, because she demanded,
Yeah, he does not want to talk.
He does not want to talk.
And I get that. As a Pisces, I'm like, I feel like sometimes, can't you just know? Can't we just have like quiet? Like, what are you?
Have a little peace, little silence. He is gorgeous. Yes, he is. Amen. You better speak on that. Had to throw that in there.
And he's big. He's like,
he is huge.
What really is his story?
Yes, I need to know his story.
Little tangent.
Why and how? Like, I got questions. Shoot, he's big. The pony is big. What is happening?
I wonder. I don't know. He's a mystery.
He is
There's
literally a
mystery. There
mystery.
are still mysteries to be solved on the world of Two Moons
So
and
many
the world of
mysteries.
ElfQuest.
So many mysteries. I love
I
Strongbow
don't
so
think
much.
Strongbow wanted to hang out with Drayon, be like,
I feel like Strongbow would have been like, so all you do is hum.
yeah, you don't
you
send, you
you don't
don't
even.
talk.
He would have went home to Moonshade like, all this fool do is hum. He can't even
Like,
sing. He can't even sing. Like what? I think he's broken. Send him back.
yes. Yeah, he's an interesting cat. I don't know.
But I love how it was so. I don't know why it was hilarious to me when he met Tamaine and Tamaine and he sent and Tamaine was like, "Who's sending? You do that again." He's like, "Oh Lord, it's too much.
Yeah,
It's
the
too." I'm like,
power
"Boy."
was just like
I was like, "You so
penetrating
dramatic."
his like down to his soul.
It was hilarious to me. I'm sorry. I was just like, "Now, sir, all you do, you." But I mean, it's Tamaine, so he couldn't handle that. But it was just the funniest thing to me because I was like, "Sir, you just." He's like, too much sending, too much."
It's such a great like way to show like the difference and the power of this, first
Yes,
comer, like conehead
versus
shape
him.
shifting,
Yeah,
amazing creature. And he thinks he's somebody, like the way he send, like I'm sending, like
he's like, all I
I'm the
do is
best sender
send.
here. Like
Mm. Ain't nobody touch me on my
it
sending.
put him in his place
It
to,
did.
and it's fascinating again. I just love it, like
He
as
got
part of the
humble.
lore. Like who sends? It's great. Like she's like it's great, but he was like, no, you are so much more powerful than me. Like that
Mm-hmm.
just like broke him a little bit right then. Like he was just
Mm-hmm.
like, who are we to this high one, this first comer? Like like I think he says like we must be like dogs to her. And like I don't think she ever had that feeling about any of the like any of her progeny really. Like
Mm-hmm.
they were all, she was like seeing their difference and their like connection
Mm-hmm.
to the world of Two Moons as
Mm-hmm.
an asset.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
So good, so good. Like all of
These little tidbits that we love
these
so
tidbits, these
much.
like these just juxtapositions of things. But I don't know. I think we could just talk forever about good old Strongbow and how cute he is.
Strongbow
And
talked for little Pat should teach him. Oh, I feel like I vaguely remember that.
oh, he did.
Strongbow
Like
talked. Yeah.
that is a good point. I did want to bring up how he was kind of forced to speak to the humans that
Mm-hmm.
they brought into the tribe, to Shuna and Little Patch,
Mm-hmm.
as much as he hated to do it because he hates
Oh, he hated
talking.
it. Oh yeah.
But
He
they
ain't
like
talking and he wasn't too cute, too keen on them humans neither. Poor baby.
not humans as a group, but as
Mm-hmm.
individuals, I think he
He
saw
he
their,
adapted pretty well. I did not think that Strongbow. I feel like there was a part of me that I had always felt like Strongbow would just be like, all humans. But as it went on, I think, like you said, he came to see that it's not all humans and individuals. You could see he was kind of like, okay, you're you cool, you're good. And I think for me, what was like a turning point for it, um, because even the way that I read ElfQuest, I read it in a way where I always pictured the humans as the bad guys, as the troublemakers. And in the issue, as the Siege of Blue Mountain issue, where Kuriel did drop um Dart, and I used to know the human's name
I
all the
think it's like
time.
Gyoki or something.
Gyoki, yeah. And then how even as they fell and were dying, they were holding hands. And that for me was a total bridging moment that was altering for my brain chemistry because I was like, oh, maybe these humans aren't as bad as I thought. And I think that was kind of a full circle moment, even for Strongbow, for it to have happened to his son with the human, given his history under Bear Claw with humans. It was just like, ooh. So, my little mini tangent. There's my soapbox. I stood on it.
No, that's good because I mean, Dart didn't grow up with any of that
Mm-hmm.
animosity with the humans. He'd never really seen any humans before,
Mm-hmm.
and he was, he finished his upbringing in Sorrow's End,
Mm-hmm.
and so he had like a completely different perspective. And he didn't
Right.
grow up like, Strongbow hated the humans,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't like he was just like passing that down to his children,
Right.
just like, better watch. Like he could have, if I mean, even if they weren't there, he could have been in Sorrow's End, just like,
Yeah.
these humans
Them
are
five
trash. Like,
fingers.
don't forget.
Them
Because
five
I mean,
fingers.
because he
It's
was
on
ready.
sight.
Like in like the original quest, when that little band of humans comes to the barrier and
Yeah.
they're all lined up and
Yeah.
Strongbow's ready to like take them out.
Sure was. Mm-hmm.
And Cutter lets them go. That's what forced him to challenge Cutter for, the chiefdom in that
Mm-hmm.
moment. Because he was just like, I want blood for blood. Like, they've burned
Mm-hmm.
us out, and here they come
Mm-hmm.
again across the
Mm-hmm.
desert. And he was ready. Like he
Mm-hmm.
says, I don't think he was going to do it then.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, who knows? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
When they rescued Redlands in the beginning, I think he took one out then. I'm like, he was ready to.
Yeah, I think he took out it was the priest, if I'm
Or
remembering
did
right.
Cutter do the
Was it the sword or was it the
spirit man?
arrow?
But I think like, I mean, I think they maybe killed another human. I don't know,
Maybe
like
because
in the
in my
raid.
head I'm picturing a human being like ah, and then there's like an arrow like going, but I could be wrong. The arrow. That's how I pictured it in my head. So I could be wrong though. That could just be my twisted head. Imagining stuff that's not there. Everybody read the original
Oh,
quest.
thank you, Natalie. He like when the spirit man came to burn them out.
Uh-huh.
That's when Strongbow killed him, because I think Cutter killed
Oh.
like the apprentice guy when
Okay.
they rescued Red Lance.
Okay.
So the spirit man was like, "Oh, we need a cleansing," and that's when Strongbow kills the spirit man, and right after he lights the the forest on fire. So
Okay.
thank you, Natalie. That is
Thank you,
good
Natalie.
on you. Yes,
You go ahead. You know you know what's happening. I'm just making
absolutely
up.
right.
I'm just making up
Another
stuff. That's just what I'm hearing.
ah, Strongbow. Okay,
Trouble.
he is deadly.
He is the precision. I always wondered. I don't know. Was there ever an issue? Did Nightfall learn archery from Strongbow? Is that where she? I
I
don't,
don't know.
because now she's pretty. With that bow, she's like,
Yeah,
and I don't know. You guys in the chat, if you know or if you remember, because I feel like there was something a long time ago where it mentioned that Nightfall learned from Strongbow, but I could be wrong. It just could be that she was just that good. I don't know. But I don't know. But he was an amazing archer. His precision, he just absolutely lethal. Like, I've never known him to miss, except for, right after. Was that right after Kirill? I think he tried. No, I don't think he ever shot the arrow, but he was just like, "Pursuit," all the
Yeah, they
time.
said that he couldn't hunt, he couldn't do anything because his conscience was,
Yeah,
just
just shook.
on him. But I think like there were more archers maybe in the
Maybe,
bear claw time because
possibly.
they're
Yeah,
all I think they probably all learned together because it was all very communal.
yeah,
Everybody was raising everybody.
yeah,
Um, and so that's how they all kind of learned. Like I mean, they were all, you all learn a bow and arrow and you learn the
yeah.
spear and
Mm-hmm.
they go on hunts and
Because you got to be ready at all times.
you got to be ready. You got to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, yes, I think he was a good teacher. He definitely taught Dart because Dart is great. Love Dart so much.
Love Dart.
So I had a thought and then I just lost it. But anyway, it may come back to me. But
Good name.
yeah, so I have no idea what I was going to say.
All these crazy sound effects I'm doing for these weapons.
Yes.
And all that threw it off. That was my fault. I'm sorry.
No, that was not it. It was I went back on like Nightfall and them, growing up and all the stuff.
Oh,
But like you don't see him teaching Chitter how to, do the bow and arrow in the story.
I feel like Chitter probably just had too much energy to try. I feel like Chitter was probably like, I ain't got time to learn no bow and arrow.
Or was it like, hey, you got to learn how to do the leathers? Like
maybe
or maybe she wanted to, I don't
maybe
know.
she wanted to because she was obviously very gifted at it. She, she was like, "This is my thing. I'm gonna design. I'm a fashionista." You know,
She was a bad. And Moonshade, no shade to Moonshade. She was making the looks.
okay,
Strongbow was looking good most of the time. He was
together.
all the fits were
All
together
the fits
until
together.
the end where he looks like a tattered thing. Tattered mess.
So
But
sorry.
still hot.
Sorry. But still hot. Oh yeah, definitely was still hot. Mm-hmm. Yes, man was
Yes,
fine.
he's just a great character to have in the whole saga. And we were so glad he's there to have those, looking at people being like, really? The best, I think, in the shards, like, I'll go back to like what he's been through so many wars and seen so much and has to put up with all these very interesting individuals and how like Shuna like showed him again that there are some good humans, like you were saying, like that moment where like they're I don't know, they're trying to get up the Citadel mound and
oh yeah,
they need like an anchor for a rope and there's nothing and Shuna's like, shoot my hand.
Jeez. And he said, okay. Boom.
She was like, arrow spirit. He was like, really, girl? Like,
all right, if you say so. All right. Zing.
But then he was like, respect. Okay. Like,
he's like, because who else gonna do that? Because it wouldn't have been me. Well, sorry. I'll be like, we gotta find another way, y'all.
No, we're doomed.
There's nothing else. This is the end. Palace of the High Ones. Here we come. That would have been me. Sorry.
Yeah, he was just like, God, like, we gotta get back to, like, I need to get back to my lady. Like,
Moonshade.
He was mad about that. Scott and Krim are just like
out here being
rolling
wild.
around any lull in the action. They are getting it on. That was another just hilarious little moment.
Was crazy
like
to me.
He's like, where did they go? And then there's like this lump and he pulls up the blanket and they're like, hey, join us. And he's like, I'm good. Like,
we're trying to survive right now.
Like, not like right now. I'm good. Like,
maybe later when there's not people trying to kill us. What? Like, maybe when we're not fighting for our lives and I'm maybe not running out of arrows.
Sleep. I don't know.
eat some bread or something. I don't know. Jeez Louise. That poor man was so stressed. I know he was just
It's
he
like, I'm
was
trying to keep
stressed.
these go backs together. Like these.
I know he was just sitting in the corner like, high ones, why me? Why me, high ones? Why did you choose me for this? This is why me. That poor baby. That poor baby.
So good. So good. Love it.
What I love about Strongbow is he goes through so much, but you just the wisdom that he's able to pass on. He's a true elder. Now I love me some tree stump. Tree stump is love me some tree stump. Tree stump is the elder right there. I don't care. Nobody say tree stump is my elder. Cutter is my chief, and tree stump is my elder. But Strongbow went through so much that he actually, I feel like, was like a representation, like you were saying earlier, of life, of enduring, of healing, of moving forward. And he was able to pass a lot on, I feel, to the young ones. And, he taught them all a little something, something. He was crazy, but he taught them all a little something, something. And I just love him so much for that. Baby.
Yeah.
Strongbow.
And only for example, like to set an example for.
To set an example. And I love the Hidden Years issue with Lashpaw. Oh my God.
It's so good. Oh my
It's
gosh.
so good. If you have not read that, you guys need to jump on that.
Pick it up. It's so
Get
good. And
it.
it was the first issue in this series, and it's in color.
It's in
It's
color.
even in color in the Dark Horse. It's volume 3.
Mm-hmm.
And because Wendy did these like watercolor pastel-y
Mm-hmm.
for the thing, they couldn't like make it look as beautiful in the black and white because
Mm-hmm.
just like the way the coloring was done in the original, that the Dark Horse versions are in color too for Hidden Years. And this one is so good because I love like there's not a lot of dialogue. It's like
Yeah.
it's
It's
Strongbow.
art.
Yes, but so much is conveyed in each
So much.
panel.
Oh, I love that issue so much. That issue had me like, Lashpaw, Strongbow, Maggoty. It
And
was
it's like
so much
another
going on.
example of him kind of going against the way
Mm-hmm.
when his wolf gets kicked out of the pack.
Yeah.
He's challenged too many of the other wolves and they have, driven his wolf out, and he's going to like say goodbye or
Mm-hmm.
give him one last hunt together,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is kind of interesting because when you see with Cutter and Night Runner's
Mm-hmm.
been kicked out of the pack and Cutter still has him around. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I guess it's different when they're in this Thorny Mountain Halt. It's not the same setup, but
Maybe.
I'm not going to nitpick it. So the wolf has been kicked out, and Strongbow has to go say goodbye, and his wolf gets like this foaming sickness like rabies,
Mm-hmm.
and at first Strongbow is like, oh, I just need to put him out of his misery, but then he can't do it.
He can't. He can't do it. He can't do
That's
it.
his
He
emotions taking over again.
taking over. He looked at Lashpaw and he was like, damn, I can't do it. He loved that wolf. And he tells Nightfall, he's like, out of all my wolf friends, he is the best. Like, he is the best one. And he really cared about that wolf. He did. And he was like, you know what? We're gonna find a way. I'm not gonna lose you like this, Lashpaw. I'm not gonna lose you like this. And
so he gets rabies himself.
He gets rabies himself. I was like, nah, Strongbow, nah, you gotta calm down.
And we get this wonderful where
Oh, that panel. I was like, let me get a little closer to the page. My face all in it, like, look at the colors of that fire.
I think it's like in the art of the story, like Wendy's like little behind the scenes, like she's like, I
I
wanted to
think
make
it is.
sure that it was conveyed that he was male because there was just like some you can look
And
at
you
it
did.
you can go see the in close up on elfquest.com in the reading room. It's Hidden Years issue 1. Look it up. So yeah,
Yep.
Wendy said something about like they were drawing something somewhere like Marvel, I think, and it was sort of like Ken, like there was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it was I don't know what character it was, but they were like, blah 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 has no penis, and like this was some joke there. So that was like I just remember reading that in that book when they maybe it's Art of the Story. I don't know which, I can't
I
remember
think it was
which one.
Art of the Story.
So the Flesk Art of ElfQuest books. So great because they break down like how the stories get crafted and little like tidbits of information and behind the scenes, and I just thought that was great because they do a great job with the nudity in
They do
ElfQuest to
an
keep it
amazing
very
job.
PG-13. So
Mm-hmm.
there's always like, a
A
lock of hair
shadow
or
or
some stars or something.
a leaf from a
A, li-
tree. A rootless one. All over
a
my man
rootless one.
Drayon. Cutting out all the parts I need to see.
Just tastefully done. Tastefully
It's
done.
so tastefully. It's so beautiful. I think it's safe to say that. Oh man, full with Strongbow tied up. Maybe.
I think she did.
I think she did. Yeah. And shout out to the trolls for doing that. Cause
Yes.
even though the Wolfriders and the trolls were kind of okay, they were still butting heads a lot. There still was like this certain level of animosity kind of between them. But they really did. I was kind of surprised that she did it, but I just have to. I was so happy that she did. It was an amazing shout out so to the trolls for that, because that had made me give a whole new level of respect for Maggie. I was like, you know what, Maggie, you crazy, but you my girl because you saved one of my 50 husbands. Mm-hmm.
I love her. She is a great character, old
She
Maggoty.
is. Golly,
She
that was
gives you some
crazy.
nice comic relief at
Yes.
times, and she's like, God, get your pink ugly, like I love that. I love her. Get your ugly pink body away. Like you need to be green. And she's
She
like,
ain't
she's
got no
practical.
warts.
Yeah, and she's practical. I love that about her.
Mm-hmm.
She makes the dreamberry wine. She
Mm-hmm.
obviously makes this potion to save Strongbow and his wolf, which
And his wolf.
that she did not need to do that. She could have been
Mm-hmm.
like the wolf stays outside. That's
Period. Screw your
right.
wolf. Nobody got time for you. You want to have your wolf up in here? He got rabies
Exactly.
in my cabin. That would have been me.
I think that's what helped, like, since they were stranded in this new world together,
Mm-hmm.
I think that also helped with their relationship between the trolls and these Wolfrider elves.
There were a lot of little moments throughout that you see the growth. I love to see the growth between the characters, between the tribes, between the species. I love how by the end everything starts to really kind of come together and everybody starts to come together. And it's like, you know what? I'm here for it. It's so beautiful.
That's how you tell a story. That
That's
is
how
how
you tell a story.
you
Yes.
close. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
fine to have some questions unanswered, but you need to like have a proper ending that's satisfying. That's like,
Yes.
that's been earned
Mm-hmm. And it
because,
doesn't have to be perfect. You
right.
know, nothing is perfect, but it's the way that it all comes together. It's just like, because life ain't perfect, but to see that certain level of peace and unity after what they've been through for the 46 years that we've been reading, it was beautiful. You guys are amazing.
It's so good. I love
They're
it. Oh,
beautiful.
so I remembered what I had my thought when you were talking
Yo,
about
yay!
it came back. Zing.
Zing!
When you're talking about how just how skilled Strongbow is as an archer, and when they once they've found the palace and the palace has been all rebuilt and they're in the like stony mountain holt,
Mm-hmm.
and the palace has given them like all this extra power. It's like really enhanced their natural abilities, that he's gotten to the point where he doesn't need to look at what he's shooting at. And he does it a couple of times. There's like a couple of panels in a few stories where he's just
Yes.
like he's not even looking.
Not even looking.
He just like the
He
arrow
just
is
like,
it's gonna hit it.
Group.
I
Oh,
love that. You see that once in this issue, and it's
I was
just
just
a
sitting
great
there
little
like,
touch,
this is so
It's like
attractive. Woo.
nothing
Love
is
him.
hotter
Nothing is
than
hotter. An
somebody with
archer who don't gotta
skills.
see where he's shooting his
To be
bow.
skilled.
Exactly, yes. Tree stump, forging them weapons. Love that man.
Throwing axes.
Throwing axes. Yes. Mm.
He's cute. I like Tristan. He's
I love
fun.
Tree Stump. He's adorable.
He's like grandpa. He's like,
Yeah, he's a baby, little old baby. I love him so much. I don't think there's not a single character in ElfQuest that I don't look at and I'd be like,
yeah, who
I
do
could
you
have.
not like? Who is not
Don't even know. I'd be like, I can have your baby and your baby and your baby too. That's my problem. But
What
that's what
about
everybody
Surge?
agrees.
Surge, the mean old
Okay,
elf.
now I was not that attracted to Surge.
There you go.
No,
We found one.
we found one. Not his son, on the other hand.
Snakeskin is
Oh
he's
Lord,
golden, for crying out loud. He's
look at
got
him like.
golden scales.
My
Come
weirdest
on.
ElfQuest crush. My weirdest ElfQuest crush was Pick Nose. I don't know why.
Interesting.
I don't know what it was, but I was like, "Sir, hello, how are you?" I don't know why, but I did. I love me a little Pick Nose.
Do you like when he's wear the hat when, out in the sun?
He's so
Or
cute when he wears the hat in the sun. I just want to pinch his little cheeks. He's so adorable. Because it doesn't seem to fit his personality. So it's so weird when I see him with it. It's just like big and super high and pointy. And he just looks so gruff and grumpy, like, I don't want to be out here in the sun anyway. That's him all the time. But I just love him so much. And
it's
he
sort of
had
like
such a great character growth too.
oh yeah. I like when Picknose is older, like, and he's like distinguished and his beard is gray. I
Yes,
think
and he's like the king, and
mm-hmm.
oh, he loves him some Trinket. I love Pick Nose as a dad for Trinket. Now, I don't think he was too cool with his other kids, but he loved him some Trinket. And
Oh, for sure.
we all love us some Trinket. She's a queen. Slay Trinket.
Another great character growth there. So good.
So good.
Depth, man. Give a dit some depth, and it's like, what? Like, love it. So good.
All the time.
Yes, that's in Stargazer's Hunt if you want to learn about how Trinket matures and gets awesome.
Yes.
And that is available from Dark Horse Comics. And if you like what you're seeing, please like and subscribe to the SyFy Sistas Inc. YouTube
Mhm.
channel and consider being a sponsor of one of our live shows for 2 Moons and a Microphone. The link is in the description box. So,
Yeah.
Shekinah, thank you for
Mhm.
joining me.
Yay.
Thank you,
Always.
everyone in the chat, for coming to take a little nerd break with us. I know there are very serious things that people could be watching right now. So, thank you for watching us
Thanks, guys.
talk about Strongbow and nerd out again about ElfQuest. And leave us a comment about who we should talk about next time, because we would
Mhm.
love to hear from you. And I love all your comments. So please comment on this video after it becomes, a video and it's no longer live, because
Yeah.
we love to hear from you, your thoughts, what you like, what you don't like, nicely and
Nicely.
respectfully. And thank you again for joining us. Thank you, Shekinah.
Yay, you're welcome. Anytime. I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I love chatting about ElfQuest with you. It is so much fun.
It is.
So thank you for everybody. And I will say shade in sweet water. We will be back in 2 weeks on Wednesdays at 9:30. So stay tuned. We will figure out what the next episode will be. Thank you.